we've come to Magic Kingdom to show you how to effectively use Genie Plus. You ready? Are you ready? All right, let's go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're gonna show you how to effectively use Genie Plus in Magic Kingdom. Now,
Future Doug here. You're going to hear me say Genie Plus all over this video. This is because this video was made the day that Lightning Lane Multipass and Single Pass was announced. I'll talk about that later, I promise. This video is going to help you get more Lightning Lanes once you're in the park. I promise. So you're gonna wanna watch this one. I have it on good authority with multiple cast members that the aspect of getting Lightning Lanes after your initial 3 like you used to in Genie Plus will not be changing. So, enjoy this tips video, get a whole bunch of Lightning Lanes, and now back to Past Doug.
I'll tell you, this is how my day started. At 7 a.m., I got a Tron boarding group. I got boarding group number 28 because my tips always work. That's with the virtual queue. Make sure you check out the video on how to do that. But I do recommend that you do use the regular Genie in order to do that. And then I went looking for the hard to grab Genie Plus. One of the hard to grab Genie Plus that's out there is the JungleCruise. Now, JungleCruise and Peter Pan both fill up very quickly, both because they're both slow loads, and that's really it. And so I got us a JungleCruise because we've ridden Peter Pan recently, and we don't really need to ride that one today. And so that's the other thing I'm gonna tell you about, is prioritize what you want. So the first one I got was JungleCruise so that we could ride the JungleCruise because we always have fun on that. And then I will probably be looking for Haunted Mansion or Space Mountain, whichever one seems to be pushing later. And because Space Mountain's my favorite, Haunted Mansion's her favorite. And then we will also probably be looking for a Pirates of the Caribbean at some point in time because that ride will stay consistently high today because the crowds are a little on the high side. But before we head to our Tron Lightning Lane, which has already been called, we're gonna go and get some coffee. Now, while we were here in the Main Street Bakery, we'll tell you about what we call the 2-hour cooldown. Now, the 2-hour cooldown is currently active. The park opened today at 8 o'clock. I got that first Lightning Lane at 7. It doesn't mean I can get another one at 9. It means I can get one at 10, which is 2 hours after the park opens, because my first Lightning Lane with JungleCruise is at 11:30. So at 10 o'clock, which is in about 15 minutes, we're going to grab another Lightning Lane and do what I like to call stacking. And you're gonna stack those Lightning Lanes in as we start going into the day. And like I said, priorities right now are Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, and Pirates, and at 10 o'clock I'm going to try to grab whichever one seems to be pushing the latest. Even on a Genie Plus video, you have to take a moment to appreciate Cinderella Castle in the morning sunlight. I love it. All right, we are on our way back to Tron, and while we are walking through Tomorrowland, I had my alarm go off. I do set timers and alarms so that I'm not constantly on my phone, and I got a 12:30 Space Mountain. Now, I'm not really happy with that time because that's farther away than everybody else that I was interested in. Like Haunted Mansion was like 10:30, Pirates of the Caribbean was like 10:05, and so I'm in the process, I'm gonna go into the process of what I'd like to talk about is modifying a Lightning Lane. So I'm gonna go into that Lightning Lane, and I am going to try to find a new time for it by refreshing the tip board and having that up near the top so it's a priority, and I will kind of show you how that looks like. But I'm gonna try to get an earlier time on Space Mountain because I would like to book a new one, not at noon, because I just booked at 10, so the next one I can book is at noon. So, once I get that, hopefully I can get that modified to something a little bit sooner so that I can burn that Lightning Lane before noon, because I would like to get on Haunted Mansion and Pirates, but I'm really thinking that we're going to be able to have a very successful day today in Magic Kingdom, because now we're about to do our boarding group, which is 28, because my tips work for Tron. Tron LightCycle Run, one of the things I want to point out with the virtual queue, this isn't an individual Lightning Lane. We do not have one of those yet. I am going to be purchasing one for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I haven't purchased one yet. I do need to look into that. However, I am going to tell you that the virtual queue doesn't get you a faster position into the ride. What it does is it gets you a chance to ride the ride at all. And it is going to be a line that you wait in once you get in it, which is why I'm glad I got one earlier on in the day. So like I said, if you think you're not going to wait in the line because you got a virtual queue, you are wrong. Well, we didn't wait all that long, right? No, not yet. The line outside was about half full instead of completely full. So the morning's a better time to do it for sure.
Users, prepare to be digitized into the world of Tron.
So Michelle and I have only been waiting here about 15 minutes. We're about to get sorted to the lockers. So we do recommend that you get the morning. Try to get an early boarding group, and if you use my tips, you'll get an early boarding group. Yeah, I mean, like, I prove it time and time again that my tips work. I do have to say, I like what they did with the theming in this room. You really do feel like you're in the Tron movies. Hey, that was fun. Michelle's doing the right thing, staying hydrated. It is a little warm today. We are gonna head pretty much straight over to Space Mountain because here's one thing that you might not know is that you can check in for a lightning lane up to 5 minutes early or 15 minutes late. And we are 10 minutes early and right next door. So we're gonna head over to Space Mountain. We're gonna head over to Space Mountain and we are going to, hold on, whee! We are heading over to Space Mountain and we are going to check in probably 5 minutes early because I was able to move the 12:10 time to 11 while I was waiting in line. I also purchased a nice late night Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which the park's open till 11 today, so I went for 10:10 p.m. Future Doug and Michelle here. We forgot to talk to you about this real quick. Here's our lightning lane. We're finally cashing it in at 10:10 tonight after watching an amazing Happily Ever After. We had a great time. Tinkerbell flew. Yep. All right, now back to the video. We're gonna go have fun on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Like I said, this was worth it at $11 per person. Now we're gonna get to ride it at night. Here we go. Yes, I did purchase that. It was $11 per person. I'm a little bit happier with the price of that over how much, whether or not I enjoy the value of that ride. Rise of Resistance, while I love it, is generally often the same price as it took to pay for Genie Plus that day. And I'm not really a big fan of that, just to be honest. The problem is that because I love Rise so much, I will pay it. But you need to make sure that you know what your value is, okay? So, here we go, off to Space Mountain. Okay, like I said, we are checking in about 5 minutes early for our lightning lane here. One of the things you're going to want to ask the cast members at the front is whether or not there are 2 touch points. And by touch points, I mean that these things that people are tapping with their magic bands, this right here, tapping with their magic band to get in. And if there's 2 of them, you cannot make a new lightning lane until you actually get to the other touch point. So you got to watch out for that. I happen to know that this ride will have 2 touch points, so I don't even need to ask because the lines pass by each other in here. So like the lightning lane line and the regular queue line are both like pretty much next to each other. So they're trying to prevent people from jumping out of the regular queue line and hopping in the lightning lane line thinking that they can get on the ride faster. So I happen to know that there will be a second touch point, so I don't even need to ask. So now I can go for a second lightning lane. So we are in Genie Plus here, and there is an 11:30 Haunted Mansion. Confirm my party. And I got. You see this, 12:55, 1:55. It originally said 11:30, so that is what we call getting got. And you saw it, it said 11:30, now it says 12:55. I'm going to try to modify that as we wait. But I need to put my camera away because this cannot go on Space Mountain. All right, Space Mountain, always fun. Michelle and I have a lightning lane. It's going to be called for the JungleCruise. And the one thing, I do want to talk about a couple negatives. First off, Haunted Mansion 100% got me in the line. I went to get a Haunted Mansion thing, I showed you on camera, it said 11, gave me 12:55. And then I tried to modify it. Now I will tell you this, Haunted Mansion does that to me regularly. I do not understand how that is a constant thing with that particular ride, but it's only that ride. Only that ride does that to me on a regular basis. I was not able to modify it. It was just sitting at 12:55, 1 o'clock. but the ride itself does that thing where it says, oh yeah, I have 11 o'clock available. Just kidding. Now, you also heard me in line talking about the 2 touch points and jumping out of line. I do want to point out that, and I can't make this up. I'm going to have Michelle verify it. Michelle, the story I'm about to tell is true, yes? So, right after I got done filming that, 2 young ladies got out right in front of us, out of the regular standby line, got into the Lightning Lane line, and then proceeded to try to buy Genie Plus before they got to the gate to tap in. 2 things that's not gonna work about that. 1, they're not gonna be able to get a Lightning Lane for the time that they're currently in line for Space Mountain. Space Mountain was already looking at 12:30, 1 o'clock at that point. And 2, they didn't touch in at the first touch point. So they're gonna get to that second touch point and they're gonna send them out, even if they were able by some miracle to get that time, because they didn't touch in at the first touch point. Don't think that Genie Plus is some miracle tool that you can just use to skip lines. You have to use it smartly. Hence, while we're making this video. Michelle and I are now smartly heading to our 11:30 JungleCruise Lightning Lane. Here we go. Michelle and I are gonna take a quick pause. We were gonna go on the JungleCruise, and then I was able to get walk up at Jungle Skipper, which is one of our favorite restaurants. And so we're gonna eat a light lunch there. And here's the honest thing, we'd rather eat there than at one of the quick service restaurants, even though we do like the quick service restaurants here, because Jungle Skipper has great food, and we can find something light for lunch, because we do have a really nice dinner planned later. So, but we're gonna go to Jungle Skipper real quick, and we should be able to get out in our window for JungleCruise. And if we don't, however, we will have a receipt that says we were sitting down and dining. So we'll be able to get on JungleCruise, no problem. Little pause on the Genie Plus video because Michelle and I were able to get walk-up seating to Jungle Skipper Canteen. I'm already seated and we're gonna eat, and that doesn't happen. You don't get walk-up seating, but this might trigger something with JungleCruise that'll help you with Genie Plus. We'll find out when we're done. So after that miracle of a sit-down dining meal we weren't expecting to have, we are heading over to JungleCruise for our ride. And the thing is though, we're outside of our window, which was at 11:30 to 12:30, but we're not outside by 15 minutes, so we should be okay. But if we weren't okay, we would just need to bring the receipt from Jungle Skipper. And it's not just because we ate at Jungle Skipper they'll let us on JungleCruise, it's because they are trained to allow people to have dining reservations cause problems with their Lightning Lanes. And that's for every ride, for every restaurant, just so you know. We've come to our Lightning Lane for the JungleCruise to go cash that in, and the standby entrance is currently at 50 minutes. Now here's something that's gonna probably happen while we're on the JungleCruise. Our 12:55 Haunted Mansion might get called, and we're trying to get to Haunted Mansion right away so we can get our next Lightning Lane, which we wanna do for Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Yep, there's the nod, that's the next one we want. See, even this Disney duck knows to stay behind the yellow line before boarding the Jungle Skipper cruise. See, just waiting for their ride. Good job, duck.
Hold on to those small children. I have raised 2. I am not raising anymore. At this point, it looks like we are clear and we are out of here. Do me a favor, friends. Take that favorite hand of yours and wave goodbye to all the beautiful people on the dock. Okay, guys, let's be fair. Wave to the ugly ones, too. Come on now. Especially the skippers over there. They know who they are. I want you all to say, ooh. Ooh. I want you all to say, ah. I want you all to say, Skipper Dave, you're doing a great job.
Skipper Dave, you're doing a great job.
We call that fishing for a compliment. Thank you for your cooperation. All right, quick check this. Everybody have their shoes on. Everybody have their shoes. Everybody has their shoes on. Okay, here's the reason I'm asking. Earlier today, we found a pair of Crocs over here. That would be Smiley and Ginger, but you got to be careful on Ginger because Ginger snaps. All right, everybody, straight ahead is one of the highlights of the tour. So get out the cameras, get out the phones. You are about to experience what we like to call the 8th wonder of the world. We present the backside of water. Everybody join me. O2H, 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 O2H. That's a chemistry book that we tell periodically. And you know, if you think about it, Mickey's sort of my boss. You know what he pays me to work here?
Minimum wage?
Yeah, minimum wage. That's correct, sir. Nicely done, guys. Nicely done. Like the other boat's almost completely loaded, friends. Hey, anybody gonna go check out the fire? Anybody plan on catching the fireworks tonight? Anybody plan? Okay, here's my advice. Do not catch the fireworks. They're really hot. Yeah, they're really hot. They may burn your hands. You have all been my most recent. So I'm going to give you guys same words of advice I gave both of my kids when they turned 18, and again when they turned 23. Those words of advice for kids, you know what? That free ride is now over. It is time to get those personal belongings because it's time. We need you all to get out. Everybody, please stand up. Exit. Thank you, guys. Yeah, you should have. You definitely should have. What?
So I want to tell you about an error that I just made. First off, Skipper Dave, you did a phenomenal job. Really great skipper that we had today. Enjoyed his antics and jokes, especially when he had to hold us up at the end. We saw something new we've never seen before, and I wasn't going to show it because there are people on it, and I don't want to just show people in their state. I finally saw the handicap boat that they have, and the handicap boat has a very fascinating system that actually like raises up into the air, turns so you can put the wheelchair on it, turns back, and then lowers back down with the person on it. I've never seen that before, and that was really actually kind of cool. So we had that, and then I need to tell you about my mistake. I wasn't paying attention to where I was in the Disney app. Now I will tell you that sometimes Genie Plus and the Disney app is a little bit confusing, and the problem that I ran into is the fact that I was in the modify the Haunted Mansion, didn't realize I was still in it, and because I've been trying to modify it, remember I told you about that before, and I accidentally modified thinking I was getting my lightning lane, my new lightning lane, I accidentally modified the Haunted Mansion to later in the day and got a Pirates of the Caribbean for 220. So I have a Pirates of the Caribbean for 220, and then I had to go in again and then actually get my lightning lane for Haunted Mansion now at 4 o'clock. That was just my bad. I just wasn't paying attention where I was in the app. However, I do have both of the rides that I want to get. We have Haunted Mansion, we have Pirates of the Caribbean, but now we have a 2-hour cooldown before we can get a new one. The new time will be around 3:11. I can get another lightning lane. At that time, Michelle and I will have discussed exactly what we want to do next, and we'll take a look at what's available. But right now, as we're looking around, we're near the Pirates of the Caribbean, and Michelle and I may just go try to do some other things, like shop or pass the time, because that's what you do when you don't have the lightning lanes and you don't want to wait in a line, which is something you can do. Like if you have a lightning lane, it's farther down the way and you want to wait in a line for something else, do that. It's a great idea. Michelle and I come here often enough that we don't feel the need to do that. So we're gonna go just find something else to do while we're waiting for our lightning lanes to hit, and then we are going to head off to the Pirates at 2:20 and then Haunted Mansion at 4 o'clock, and we'll see you when we get there. One of the little notes I want to make right now is that we're actually right by Tiana's Bayou Adventure before it opens, and you might be seeing this video after it opens, but the one thing I want to talk about is the fact that Tiana's Bayou Adventure will be doing a 7 a.m. and a 1 p.m. boarding group, just like Tron, just like Guardians of the Galaxy, and there is a video up on our channel that helps you get onto that ride. I very, very, very rarely ever miss a virtual queue, and just so you know, like today I got 28 for Tron. I have gotten boarding group 1 for the annual pass holder preview on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So, like, yeah, my tips actually work. This ride is actually going to be going into virtual queue soon. So, that being said, just be prepared. It will be a virtual queue. I do have tips up on my channel help you do this. So, make sure you check them out. Michelle and I have decided, as part of our time killer, that we're going to go on one of our favorite rides, the PeopleMover. We need to spend more time in Tomorrowland anyway, because Michelle's wearing this very cute Space Mountain outfit today. She looks really good in it too, in my opinion. Speaking of which, one of the things I always like to talk about with Genie Plus is that when you're in between lightning lanes, what I recommend fully is that you find a filler. You find something that you want to do that's a filler, like go shopping, or you go on the PeopleMover, which is what we're about to do. So we're gonna go get on the PeopleMover as our little filler before we go over to Pirates. And Michelle just set off Stitch for the people who were standing underneath it. Nice job, Michelle. And we are gonna head over to the PeopleMover after I get some tea from Joffrey's. All right, here we go. Just a little note here in the PeopleMover queue is that there's a couple birds who have made homes up here above the metalwork right near the entrance to PeopleMover. It's cute. They're just chirping at everybody.
This is the TTA Blue Line. Non-stop service.
Are you excited to be on the TTA Blue Line? Here's the thing. First off, you're in the shade, so it cools you off. It moves fast enough that you get a good breeze, and it's fun.
Greetings, intergalactic travelers. Welcome aboard
Thanks.
the PeopleMover. presented by Endora.
I mean, you get this great view of Tomorrowland first, and also you get this. Some of the best views of Cinderella Castle. Check that one out. I love it.
My favorite spot. Progress City, Walt Disney's amazing dream for a community of tomorrow. Did you know Progress City inspired Epcot? And a lot of the visionary ideas throughout Walt Disney World. Look, there's even a tiny PeopleMover.
And one more time. You get two great views of Cinderella Castle as you return back to Tomorrowland. PeopleMover is always a great way to kill some time. You can audit quickly, usually, and now the next thing we can do is our 220 Pirates of the Caribbean, because we're now close enough that we could probably start heading over there and then get on it relatively soon. Another thing we recommend is the family friendship fair. It's really good. It's a great little stage show. It's a lot of fun, and it ends with some fireworks. And we happened to just catch it just in time as we're coming off the PeopleMover, and it was a delightful little show. Lots of good songs, good performances by everybody, and it's worth spending some time on. Now, we're going to keep heading over to Adventureland. We should be able to get on Pirates relatively soon. All right. We have finally made our way over to Pirates of the Caribbean. We are going to use that 5-minute early window because we got here right around 2:15, and we're going to head on in about 5 minutes early for our lightning lane, and you can do that, and here you go. Using that 5-minute early window sometimes avoids the rush to get on. And we're in the lightning lane, and it is nice and cool in here right now. I'll tell you that. It feels beautiful as we enter into the Pirates of the Caribbean line, and yeah, we got in exactly 5 minutes early, so that's a bonus, and that line is pretty long, but 45 minutes would be my guess right now. All right, here we go.
I raise a toast to all of my many shipmates lost at sea. Salute. Drink up me,
Here's another Genie Plus tip. Don't be afraid to take a bonus ride when you see a low wait time, right?
Yeah.
10 minutes on Pirates usually means pretty much 5 minutes. And that's pretty much what it's been. Here we go. Every once in a while you get lucky and get to use Pirates as a filler attraction. Right?
Yeah, it was only a few minutes.
Yeah, only a few minutes wait. And now it's the perfect time for us to get up to Liberty Square to go on our last Genie Plus of the day. And then, after we get off HauntedMansion, we have some breaking news that literally just dropped today that we're gonna have to be talking about, and hopefully we'll be able to come back soon and show you how to do that new system. Here we go. All right, we've made our way over to Liberty Square. We're gonna head over to one of Michelle's favorite rides in all of the park, which is HauntedMansion. And we're going to get on and, go visit with the Hatbox Ghost, hopefully come back with all of our soul or something. But this is going to be our last lightning lane of the day. We could get plenty more, but this is more about showing you about the ins and outs and the basics of it. And the thing is, though, with these new changes coming, it's going to be even more different, and we'll be right there to help you learn it.
Thanks. We'll live happily ever after.
All right, final lightning lane done. We have the lovely Cinderella Castle in the background. The thing I want to talk to you about right now is that today, Disney dropped new information that they are changing the Genie Plus system. They're going to call it the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, and they're also going to call it the Lightning Lane Single Pass. Lightning Lane Multi-Pass is like Genie Plus, but it's a little different. And here's the reason why I'm actually kind of excited about it. It's going to be just like the old Fast Pass system. And you can make Lightning Lane plans before you're here for added convenience. Choose your experience and times prior to purchasing so you know what you're getting. And you can book your Lightning Lane passes for multiple vacation days, all in a single day. And you can do it up to 7 days prior to your vacation, and you can do it like you used to do with the old Fast Pass system, where you can choose 3 selections for the day before you go in, and then once you get in, it'll work like the old Fast Pass system, which I was a master at. you're probably going to still pay for it, but it's still, well, you're definitely going to still pay for it. It's Disney. But the fact that they are returning to that old system because guests were like, I really wish I could plan it, I really wish I could plan it, not have to do it day of, that's awesome. So I'm really excited about that. That's a big change, and I'm really glad that that system is coming back. Now, that being said, we have tried to help you today with the system that you would need to use in order to, while you're in the park. So hopefully this video will be able to help you while you're doing that in the park, because I'll tell you what, if you do it right in the park, you can get a whole bunch of those lightning lanes in a short period of time if you really put effort into it. So, that being said, this Genie Plus video is done. I hope you saw how it works. I hope you understand like the ins and outs of doing it here in Magic Kingdom and being able to make sure you prioritize what you want to ride. I'm excited to be able to share that with you. It's been a lot of fun getting through that today, and we've gotten to ride a lot of things. We got to see that Festival of Fantasy parade from that random spot on Frontierland, just at random, and we tried, and we got to go on HauntedMansion and Pirates twice and all kinds of other things, and we were glad to share it with you. So, if you have any questions about Genie Plus or the new Lightning Lane Multipass system, please put the questions down below. Again, we don't like to say goodbye because we're going to see you real soon, so we say, see you bye to the castle right there.